in a cabin on a hill in Butcher Holler. We were poor, but we had love. That's the one thing that Daddy made sure of. He shoveled coal to make a poor man's dollar. My daddy worked all night in the van near coal mines, all day long in a field of hoeing corn. Mommy rocked the babies at night and read the Bible by the coal oil light, and everything would start all over come break of morn. Daddy loved and raised their kids on a miner's pay. Mommy scrubbed our clothes on a washboard every day. Why, I've seen her fingers bleed. To complain, there was no need. She'd smile in Mommy's understanding way. In the summertime, we didn't have shoes to wear, but in the wintertime, we'd all get a brand new pair. From a mill or a catalog, money made from selling a hog. Daddy always managed to get the money somewhere. Yeah, I'm proud to be a coal miner's daughter. I remember well the well where I drew water. The work we done was hard, and I would sleep 'cause we were taught. I never thought of ever leaving Butcher Holler. Well, a lot of things have changed since the way back then, and it's so good to be back home again. Not much left but the floors. Nothing lives here anymore except the memories of a coal miner's daughter.
Since I met you, I can't get you off my mind. I never felt this way, and I can't figure out this love you're giving me. How did I do without? Never. Yes, this was meant to be. When I look into your eyes, I know that you're for me. You're my fantasy, you are my dream come true. There's nothing I can see that I won't do for you. No, you will never know what meeting you has done. I feel I need you like a flower.
Hi everyone, welcome to Richmond, Kentucky. Welcome to the Richmond Mall. We're just southeast of Lexington, and we made a trip here back in mid-May to take my mother on a belated Mother's Day weekend trip to Buc-ee's. Buc-ee's is just a few minutes south of the Richmond Mall off of I-75, and we had a really wonderful time. My mom enjoyed her weekend. She enjoyed her Buc-ee's experience, and she enjoyed stopping at this mall with us, which you'll see an appearance by her as she walks around briefly later on in this video. Anyway, we had a really wonderful time stopping here. I was pleasantly surprised at how quaint this little mall is, even though it's a dead mall. It was a beautiful little mall which survives mainly off of mom and pop type shops, and I'll get into that a little bit more as we go along here. Also, with this mall video, you'll notice that I pay attention to all of the tenants that are inside of the mall, rather than just focusing on the vacant tenants and closed down portions. I wanted to highlight all of the mom and pop type stores that keep this mall very much alive. Even if it's at 30% occupancy, these people that run these stores, this is their livelihood. They put everything on the line to just make an honest living and not just keep the mall afloat, but keep their dreams alive. So throughout the video, you'll see me focus and show lots of these stores that are still open. What we're looking at here is an old rehab store, which is basically a thrift store. I wish it was still open because I definitely would have shopped in there, but unfortunately it was not. Anyway, let's get into the history of the Richmond Mall. The Richmond Mall opened on September 9th, 1988 by Pinnacle Partners LLC. Its size is roughly 350,000 square feet. It has roughly 60 tenant spaces, though roughly only 30% are occupied, as I had mentioned. I don't really know why, but I was generally amused by the security stand here, which was used more for information and ads and storage than anything else. Now keep in mind, when we were here, it was early on a Sunday morning, and I was honestly surprised that the mall was even open for mall walkers. As you'll see in the video, a lot of stores were still closed for the day. They hadn't yet opened, but that didn't stop us from enjoying our visit here. As a matter of fact, there's an appearance by my mother right there, who had the time of her life and said this was the best Mother's Day she ever had. So that really made me feel good, and it was really cool to have her come along with us to experience a dead mall for the first time. Anyway, getting back into the history of the mall, original anchors were JCPenney, Goodies, and Walmart. Cinemark would open within a year of the mall's opening. It didn't take very long for the mall to have financial issues. Only 2 years after opening, in 1990, Pinnacle Partners LLC would default on their mortgage with Dean Witter Investments. At the time, the mall had space for 75 tenants, with over 15 of them being vacant. In 1995, the owners of the mall were sued for unpaid taxes. It was around this time that Walmart had already left the mall to build a supercenter literally right next door. Talk about a punch in the face. Walmart can either be the lifeline of a mall, as we've seen with the Country Club Mall, or it could be the death of a mall.
Walking around the inside of this mall.
The mall would do very well throughout the late 90s and early 2000s. It was in 2008 that the mall took a massive blow when a new shopping center called Richmond Centre opened just a few minutes away, much closer to Interstate 75. Given how easily accessible Richmond Centre is off of I-75, it was more inconvenient to go to the Richmond Mall. With its opening, the mall went from being nearly completely occupied to down to 50% occupancy within 2 years. including all 3 anchor stores leaving to relocate to the Richmond Centre, which included JCPenney's, Hastings, and Goody's. Richmond Centre's opening was really the downfall for this place. By November 2010, the mall owned by Bush Realty was foreclosed on due to a lien in the excess of $16.4 million. Bush Realty, along with ACG Equities LLC, had purchased the Richmond Mall from C.B. Richard Ellis of Pittsburgh, PA, for nearly $21 million. By December 2011, the mall was sold yet again from 830 Eastern Bypass Holdings LLC to Richmond Mall Partners LLC based out of Austin, Texas for a whopping $5.6 million. The sale of the mall reflected a $15.2 million decrease than the previous selling price. You just saw a sneak peek of the center court and the fountain area, which I'll show you more of towards the end of the video. I figured it was the star attraction of the mall and I wanted to save the best for last. Anyway, at the time of the sale in 2011, several notable stores were open in the mall, including Furniture World Superstore, Sears Appliance, Cece's Pizza, Bath & Body Works, California Nails, Regis Hairstylist, Claire's Boutique, Payless Shoe Source, and Gilliam's Sports Lounge. And at one point, the mall even had a Doll Hairs and Office Max. The only real chain store that remains is Bargain Hunt. It's a discount store similar to Ollie's, but the problem with it is it only has outside access. Me personally, if I'm walking around a mall, I'd like to be able to go into Bargain Hunt without having to go outside. And I can imagine the same goes for people wanting to go to Bargain Hunt. With the outside-only access, they might be less intrigued to want to walk through the mall and check out the stores inside. So, realistically, it doesn't do a whole lot of benefits for the mall itself, but it does keep the mall afloat, as do all the mom-and-pop type shops. As a result of the nearby Richmond Centre and the pandemic of 2020, the mall now sits at roughly 30% occupancy and survives by all the mom-and-pop stores, as I've shown throughout the video. If you're ever in the Richmond area or Lexington area, or you make a trip to the Buc-ee's, which is just a few miles away, stop by this place and check it out. If you can, try and support the stores in this mall. Now, I do know a lot of these stores are specific for like nails or wedding dresses, and there's a church and parties and bakeries, but there are some really good stores in here. And like I said, these people just live the dream. They're trying to keep their dream alive and make an honest living. So if you're ever in Richmond, Kentucky, definitely stop by and check it out. This is a great little mall. Though it's dead, the place is a wonderful little place, and if I lived in the area, I would definitely frequent it and walk around this place and support the businesses if I could. Anyway, with that said, I'm going to take off. Thanks for watching, everybody. Thank you for helping us get to 50,000 subscribers yet again, as I'd mentioned in the previous video. Can't do it without you. Love you guys. Love the support. Thank you. Anyway, as we walk through this abandoned store, which they had wide open for us to check out, I'll leave you off now, and I just want to thank you all again. Thank you for watching. Take care. Stay awesome. And on Kayla's behalf, have a Richmond Mall-licious day. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye, everybody.